Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is, well, I don't know how to start with this. This is going to be very rambly. I just wanted to show a comparison of, not these, but I do want to use these as an example, just to show, what we're kind of dealing with in the actual flip through here. Don't be scared. She's not going to be here. This isn't about her. You read the title of the video. This isn't about Rider-Waite Smith. All right, we don't care about her right now. She's not important. She's had her time in the sun. Okay, which, as you can see, which is what I'm trying to say here. The Rider-Waite Smith has had so many different iterations, so many different colorations, so many different versions. So here's the Pink Ankh University Books version. Here is the A.G. Mueller Tarot of A.E. Waite with the cracklebacks. And then here is the borderless Centennial Smith Waite. And then here's the plastic one, which is essentially just the yellow box standard version. And usually I feel like to compare the Thoth to this, we haven't really had anything like this from the Thoth, where I feel like this is like a neutralized yet still colorful type of, approach to it. This is too sepia tone. This is too aged. Like, I get it, but no, but these two are really great for the main fact being that they're, the details in the cards are much more noticeable. Um, but yeah, and also with the colorations, there's a variation in them. Like you can see like the different colors in the background between the hood of the page and all that. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on it. I just want to show just the different variations. Like here, he's wearing purple, and it's the greens are very different, such and such, whatever, you know what I mean? Even in the sun, I believe it was nobody here. I can't know. None of my sun cards have that look that some versions have. I can't remember which version. Um, there's a specific version, but for some reason, the sun looks like it's a little bit more happier. Here it looks a little bit more like, trying to make it too fashion, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right term. Uh, but, the faces are very, like, neutral and looking, but there's some versions where the line work is ever so slightly changed to where the lips or the mouth or the expression in the eyes makes it look like it's like smiling ever so slightly. I don't know. But anyways, uh yeah, details in like I can't remember what, like in the flag and in the bricks behind are very different, also in the Fool as well, but that's what I wanted to show. And that is what we barely got today. Well, I got today. This iteration of the Thoth has been around for um if you know where to look, you could find it. It was like the Thoth in the golden box. I can't remember what it's called. Um, but here it is. The box, it looks just like any other French AGM box. Currently, currently this is the only version that I know for sure, guaranteed, has it. So if you go to, I'm gonna put a link, description down below. All right, you can find this specific version, if you want it. Uh, because I tried to get it directly from A.G. Mueller. It's a little bit of a mess for me personally. It was so I'm gonna link you to a Canadian web store shop, game shop. They just sell cards, games, board games, all that stuff. And they carried this. As you can see, the back is already different. And it's been an adventure trying to like see like maybe what if they are gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? They never did. you know. Um, so this here is the Swiss, no, not the Swiss. What am I saying? Swiss AGM large size, large that first ever got. I trimmed it. I wrote the keywords on it. I don't really use it. I use mostly the green box from US Games, which I just like bared my teeth and no, like bit my tongue. I don't know. I don't know what the right term to say is with how I, I was like, I was okay with it. I didn't think too much about the fact that I resorted to just using this version here for, study and practice and readings and all that. And these are the two that we're going to go because if you're, in the US, most likely you have this. Most likely you have these images. Most likely you have this version. These images were only shown in a gold box, small size that was essentially in this size, you know, uh, and and this was back in, oh man, when, like 2018? I have no idea. My mail person is coming, and is gonna drop off something. So, and I know Pickles is gonna start barking, so I'm gonna have to pause it right here. Okay, just a few bucks. Maybe for, I don't know. I don't know what to do about Anathema publishing books. Moving on. Neither here nor there. So they came in this size, essentially. These images. I'm like holding back. If you've seen them, if you've been around, you know what these are. So back in, I want to say like 2013. I'm probably very wrong on that. I'm going to link down below the OTO blog posts, written posts, whatever, where they talk about going through it, the drama with US games, and how this version is a mixed bag for me personally, but I still am happy for it because I think it's a step in, like, I don't know, for some reason it's getting like, it's the Thoth's turn as well, where we've always had, like some people like are just used to the yellow box. I'm like, oh, I hate how yellow it is. I hate how the colors are. And then this version came out and they're like, oh my God, it's so much better. Oh my God, I love it. Da 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 da, this and that, woo woo woo, And Thoth kind of didn't really need that. Like its colors were super saturated. But I kind of like it for that. But also it's like, I don't know, we didn't know any better. Because like we know like more of the history with the Rider-Waite Smith, a little bit more. Well, no, I'm stepping up on my words. Like I said, this is gonna be very rambly, very misinformed. I will be, like I said, links and sources to places that have better, more well-informed takes on this. So yeah. But anyways, so Rider-Waite Smith got all these like different iterations and different redoings and updos even. But Thoth kind of gets left in the background, partially because why mess with perfection? Like really, like to this day, nothing really comes close. Maybe, emphasis on maybe, Marielle. I can't think of anything else. There's a few, I don't want to, but Marielle so far, I'm like very much more comfortable to say comes close to this in terms of like blending art and esoteric ideas and occultism into imagery. A few have succeeded. I think like Mel Meline like is good at like keeping the Thoth art tradition system alive. But again, and she knows. I think she knows. Like, no one can come close to Lady Frida Harris's work. So, yeah. But anyways, how do I get into this? Okay, so last year or the year before, AGM announced a like limited edition gold box that was large, and I was like, could this be it? Is this it? Is this the one? I am like, and I clowned myself. I acted a fool. I acted like him, saying, "Oh my God, it's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. Da 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 da. This and that." Turned out it was not, because essentially, let me show you what we got. Let me show you. It's gonna be a bit of a ramble. So this is the limited edition that came out by US Games. Yeah, I don't use it. I got it just out of sheer curiosity, and like I'm like, let me see where this goes. It does have the gold gilding, but this is not the A.G. Mueller. Here's the drama. here's the drama right here. So my friend Natalia, who also gifted me my original, I believe she gifted me this one. Yeah, she did. I think she did. um, she also gifted me this one. She's the best. She gifted me this one. This was my very first. And then she gifted me this one just recently, like a few months back. And she's like, this is the one. This is the one with the colors, this and that. And I'm like, girl, I got it. And I'm like, girl, this ain't it. But I noticed some interesting things. I was like, this feels smaller. But like but the images aren't like trimmed off. They're not missing anything. The images actually are smaller. Like ever so slightly. I don't know if you can see that. The card image itself is ever so slightly smaller. And I was like, girl, but look at that. You know, even to the green box, you know, it's minuscule, you know, it's so small. So this is the green box US games. Okay. And this is the gold edged US games. You know, the limited edition US games. Again, same situation. So let me show you what's going on here. If you guys haven't seen this, you're in for a treat. You're in for a surprise. You're in for the goobery. But I'm assuming that that A.G. Mueller, you know, before this was trimmed, it looked more like this, just different. Maybe the entire set, the entire cards were like ever so slightly smaller. But I'm not sure. You know, I would have to have gotten a copy of the A.G. Mueller's, you know, AGM's, you know, gold edition, limited edition box, because a lot of it looks a lot very similar to what this says here. It has like a paper and everything, like very, very similar. So anyways, yeah. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's just jump into it. We've been already 12 minutes in. People probably just skipped over it. Probably over it now. They probably left a bunch of dislikes. There it is. There it is. I don't know if you can really tell the difference. I wanted to get the lighting as right as possible in here, but you know, we do what we can with what we can with what we have. So I'm gonna try. I don't know if you can hear my dad in the background, but yeah. So you can see that the green. So this is the green box US games, and this is the new version, by A.G. Mueller with the updated images. So these images were taken, I believe, I don't know how long ago, with like a very like expensive camera, this and that. They retook the photos of the paintings of Lady Frida Harris's and Crowley's paintings, Lady Frida Harris's paintings, you know, guided by Crowley, you know what I mean. And they re-updated them. So you can see the green is very different. You can see like the general rule, the general notes that you're going to notice is that the whites are whiter, but also like, I don't know, it's lighter, it's less saturated. It looks more like a greeny. It looks like a mix between this and like the vintage greeny Thoth Tarots, I believe. The names are very like very confusing and very hard to keep track of. But yeah, it's like some details get lost, some details get gained, but there is there is a bonus here. So as you can see, this is a trimmed version of you know, the standard large size. You can see it's pretty much the same size. Here, I don't know if you can tell what's going to happen here. The images are like ever so slightly bigger. Just a little bit. They're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger. There we go. I don't know if you can tell that. You know, I think they're longer, maybe stretched out. So I'm looking, I'm like, what happened? Why does it look so different? So if you see, the card image fills out that white border that's right there. So that gap right there is gone. Let me put on autofocus, girl. What am I doing? You know, there we go. There we go. The autofocus is gone. So the autofocus is gone. So yeah, I'm going to use this as the comparison, I mean, this is essentially what you've seen. This is the green box. This is the image that they use for all current Thoth. This is the tricky one to get, unless you go to that little shop that I linked down below. So you can see the dove is different. Again, I think you like lose some details, personally. Or what they did within this version and the green box and this version, you know, what they did with those images was that they upped the saturation, upped the contrast or something to sharpen the details. Because one thing that is always said, that, you know, a fact that's always like kind of like weirded me out about the Thoth was that they're watercolors. And I'm like, girl, these don't look like watercolor. Like, which, I mean, compliments to her, like, even though, but it's like, you know, that they don't look like paintings. They look like drawings, like more like color pencil, maybe, you know. I don't know, like, it doesn't look, it doesn't have that watercolor-esque feel. But I think you get that with this new version. You know, let's see a different card. I'm done with this fool. I'm done with the clown. Let's move on. Let's get some other cards here. We're gonna do a quick flip through too. So I should stop talking. I should have been saying this and flipping through, you know, and talking about it. So you can see, like, here, you know, the blue is so blue. I love the blue. But here it's more like a violet indigo blue, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's the right colors for this. But I do love the blue. I love how the blue looks. You can see that the wings, like I said, the wings just look, it looks aged. And so another part of me is like saying in the back of my head, like, oh, so these images were updated with the paintings that were already like much older compared to when these pictures when these scans of the paintings were taken. The colors were more vibrant. They weren't so aged. These, you know, the paintings were completed, I think, like in, when was it, like the 50s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that's like over 50 years that these paintings have been there, and I'm sure they've been taken care of, and I'm sure, you know, they've been well preserved. Like, again, like you can see, like the legs of the high priestess are much wider. You know, you can see, again, basic rule is everything is lighter, desaturated. The rainbow isn't as, you know, rainbow-y, but she is like lighter. I don't know how to explain it. Another part that you can see is there's something like a graininess to the green in the dress here with the Empress. And that's kind of like smoothed and softened out here, which I think, again, probably some photo manipulation, probably the saturation, the contrast being put up. Like, you can see the dark lines on the wings really stand out. Meanwhile, here, they're much more softer. But again, I feel like you're kind of losing some details because those dark lines are kind of being erased. You know? Yeah, I fear they might have also stretched it out. Now that I'm looking at her face. Because she looks thinner than she does. So I fear they might have stretched the images out. One thing you can also see, the dark, where it looked just like dark back there, now it looks like a green. So yeah, here the Emperor, the reds look more red. That's kind of like a plus, I guess. And the whites look whiter, you know, like I said. Again, I need to stop saying that. I'm going to try and stop saying that. You know. But yeah, I'm afraid they might have stretched out the images. You know? No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. No, you can see there's more of the fleur de lis. Is that how you pronounce that? Is that what it's called, right? From there you see it more. Let me see on my trimmed version. Maybe it's like a printing thing. No, that's how it is. Yeah, you do get more image of that little fleur de lis. So you're getting like ever so slightly a little bit more. So yeah, some cards are very noticeably different. Like there's some that I'm like, what is this? So we're gonna get to those real quick. I'm gonna just flip through and show y'all the differences real quick. Let me pause and actually get closer so you guys can see. There you go. I don't know what to do with my ring light. She's not helping. I thought she would help, but she's not. We might have to do something. I'm gonna have to turn him. There we go. I don't want to like hold it, but yeah. You can see that, he's not so yellowish here. He's more ruddy, browny type of color. But again, I like how you can see that there's a color difference between him and the bowl. Meanwhile, here they kind of like blend together a bit almost. Yeah. And again, the same with the bull and the lion. Again, different colors. Like there's different shades of brown. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. It's like on one hand, yes, different imagery. Well, not really different imagery, but more like refreshed images, But then on the other hand, it's like, well, how much better is it? Really? Uh, just colors are lighter. And the colors might be lighter because the colors might have faded over time, I don't know. I have conflicting thoughts. I'm gonna start putting them like this. Here is where it's like, oh wow, okay. So like you see the checkerboard details in like I'll call it like the netting webbing type of thing. You kind of like lose that here. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Here you totally see like the sun more stands out because of the whitening of the cards, I guess. The desaturation. You can also see like the wheat is more prominent. It's not so like smudgy in the background, I feel, in this version. I don't know. Just my opinion. Wheel of Fortune. Lust. You can really see like the center like really bright, really glow. This point of all the rays with the horns right there. Just, yeah. Here's one that I'm like, what? I didn't expect this to happen. I thought this would look cleaner, but no, it's like the yellowishness is like really standing out here, which usually throughout, the deck, the yellowishness is mostly gone. Like you'll see in the Queen of Swords. I miss how dark the skeleton is in this one, yeah. Again, like the raven and the skull is kind of fading out. The towers is one that like I'm like they kind of they got it down in the initial try, I guess. You can see something in like the bricks here, and the tower itself right there. Here's the star. Again, like you see like just ever so slightly, like there's not like there's anything hidden that was cut off, but you can see the roses here kind of like more prominent, You see, I think you see the same amount. This is why I'm thinking like maybe they did stretch out the imagery because you're seeing like the same amount of this circle here, I don't know. I'm paranoid now. I'm paranoid. But this is what's great about these is that it's like on one hand it's like you're seeing the same shit, but it's also like when you do that like spot the difference type of game, you really get to like really like focus in and cement in your mind like the small details and symbols here. And again, these small details that Harris was able to put into her deck with watercolor, which I'm like, I don't know how artists can do it, but they do. They figure out a way. Yeah, like the children are much more white. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. uh, yeah, like he is much more like prominent. He's much more standing forward. You can really notice him, but he kind of blocks out. I think that's Horus in the back. I could be wrong. No, right? I don't know. What's his name? The invisible guy doing the sign of silence. You know, the Harpocrates. I think Harpocrat. I think I could be wrong. He's really like so prominent that you really can't. You know, yeah. I don't know. The disc is much more. The sun disc right here is much more red, brighter red. So yeah, again, all the blacks kind of lose their weight. You know. Yeah. What I did notice is that I can see the pyramids here much more in detail than I could in here. So that's a plus. um, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna pick up the pace here. You know, here here's one I want to show. Like I really love how this turned out. Like I always found it quite interesting how kind of dark the Ace of Cups was because of, because being associated to Keter, it's usually supposed to be very bright and radiant. And thankfully, they brought that up here, or well, maybe because, again, maybe desaturation, I don't know. Um, you know, the colors are just so much brighter, and it's like, okay, yeah, okay. This one, again, like the tower, not really much of a difference. Sorry for the glare. I'm going to try and remember to move them aside. I keep forgetting. But these are very, very similar. Like, I doubt they even redid it sometimes. I look at it, I'm like, what's the difference? Can't really see much. Maybe the yellow? Even then, huh. Yeah, you can see, yeah, the wings are totally, the image is totally stretched out. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? No. It's more image. It's more image. You see more of the black background. You see, I'm just, girl, these cards are gaslighting me. The Thoth is girl bossing, gaslighting, gatekeeping me. See, another one where there's very little difference. Maybe in the right here. But really, for the most part, not really much of a difference here. See, here I missed the blue. But on the other hand, I kind of like the aged look sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it. Like, here the flower totally gained some color here, I feel, compared to this, And it looks more like a light green, a more peaceful green, like a more comfortable green, like a cucumber green, like a cucumber water. This is more like, I don't know, more medicinal. I don't know. Differences. You see? You gotta read into the differences, all the slight variations. So yeah, look at this. This is where, look at that. That is, I'm pretty sure people will be like, what is this? Look at that. Completely different colors right there. The Capricorn symbol is much more red. That, and then to that, the Earth triangle glyph, totally different. Yeah, let's get nice and close. But again, there's something about like the rich saturation, which is kind of why when I use the Rider-Waite Smith, sorry to cover you, Thoth, with the Rider-Waite Smith, I go for the yellow box. Like, I like it. I don't know why. The rich colors. I just like my bright, pretty colors. I'd use this, but it's vintage and I don't want to ruin it because this is very, very bright. Anyways, pretty colors. But yeah, this one is interesting. I thought this version would look more like how the background looks on this, but no, like the background is like smoothed out. It's like flattened. It's like, yeah, like I said, I think it might have been like in post-production of the pictures that, where they did what they did. Here's an issue. Here's a card with an issue where this is where my theory of like, maybe the painting's aged so much that maybe these are more close to the accurate ones. But I mean, it depends. Like, it makes you wonder, like, you know, what does the originals paintings have to do with the modern production of the decks that is out to the masses? You know, if the painting starts to age, kind of like Dorian Gray, where the decks out in the world look much different. You know, versus the paintings. How does that what is that like? What does that do? Because here I'm like, this totally looks vintage, like, again, desaturated. It looks like, the colors are worn out. But again, I'm gonna have to double check my Three of Cups color correspondences and see like which is which. That being said, I am like red, green, I don't know, blue, purple, like colorblind. Like, I don't know. you know. So yeah, like I said, here you can see it's pure white, piercing the yellow sword. You can see the colors are much more, again, it's just brighter. But is that a good thing? I'm not sure. Yeah. You see, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. Like I said, I need to refresh my memory on the color scales for Mars and Capricorn and Bina for these to see like which is which, because I think that's kind of the main point, right? Like, like you're supposed to see like what's the most accurate colors. But again, I think back then, I don't think they really had the color pigments back in the 50s isn't the same as we have them today. Like here, like here, kind of like how you saw in the Three of Cups, that, what happened here is like what happened with this. Like this looks much brighter, compared to her. She looks like the aged one. She looks like the more updated one. Moving on. Yeah, some of it there's not really much to say other than like, yeah, like I said, wider whites, but again, what I will say is that this kind of gets like I said, the treatment that the yellows here, if I can find a yellow card, let's find a yellow card here, because the yellow, oh my god, the yellows in the yellow box, my god, are they yellow, but when you get them in the newer version, at least in this A.G. Mueller, it's like they're not sepia toned like in the Centennial, but they're not the same card. But you get the point with the yellows. Also, sorry for the dirtiness. For some reason, the yellow in the plastic Rider-Waite Smith likes to spot. It likes to get stuff on it. But you can see this yellow is much easier on the eyes than this. This is like an assault. This is like, it's yellow, Same thing happens here. Like this yellow was always so in your face, but I think for a card like this, the Five of Wands, Strife, I think that's very fitting for it to be kind of mellowed down. I don't know. It I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. You know. On one hand, I really like these. I kind of like some of the changes. On the other hand, I kind of like the rich colors. I don't know. I don't know. Or I guess in the end, I guess it's time to move on from the Thoth and just do support Mel Maline's decks, I guess, from now on, which I'm probably going to do. So, seeing how she's coming out with a new deck and all. Yeah, like you can see like the dark here. It looks like, it's much more, looks more painted in. But you can see really, like the petals here really stand out. Here it's definitely a much brighter blue. This is much darker. I guess for those that are looking for a less saturated color scheme, I think it was Arwen Lynch when she was discussing her first, when she was first starting out with tarot, her, dislike towards the Thoth because of how dark it was, and someone got really defensive, and she's like, well, the colors are dark. And I'm like, here, girl, now they're not so dark, you know? But I don't know. It's like, Is it lighter or is it desaturated? Someone explain to me. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. But I love this Six of Swords. Like, look at that. It looks much brighter and lighter and clearer compared to this. I don't know why. This looks much more like a breath of fresh air. Really. Like I can breathe. This one looks much cleaner. This one looks much... Again, if you want like an aged reproduction, you know, without paying the top dollar for like those white box Thoth Tarot decks, you know, with the gold box. I can't... The white, you know which ones I'm talking about. You know, they're on eBay. They go for like 60, 80, $100 sometimes. I think even more than that. But yeah, you know. I guess like with this card, for example, the colors are more like I said, more realistic. Like again, like this feels like something that only like a computer could do, you know, compared to what a painting pigment could do. Like those, like, you know what I mean? Like printers, you know, reproducing these images, you know, could probably do these super rich saturated colors. I noticed the same thing with the Melmaline Rosetta Tarot. Like she wanted the black borders to be very black on the first edition, and so the colors are very, very saturated. And then you look at the new Papyrus edition, and that's not the case, and it looks very different. I don't know. I thought like maybe with these updated images, maybe some things would be more clear. Like here, this is what I expected here. Like you can see the glowing orbs of the discs here. We know here it's all dark and muddy, but it kind of but this kind of fits with the meaning and the interpretation of the cards. But you can see there's more, the colors look more flat here. Here you can see there's more dynamic shadings and different colors are showing up in the Seven of Discs here. So yeah, I guess one would have to focus on the rainbow maybe, or you know, the something. Again, this is one I can't really see much of a difference here. Maybe here it looks like actual like the watercolor granule kind of things going on here. Here it looks like there's like yellow stains going on here. Here it looks like, again, like those dark splotches that, you know, I don't know. It looks more painted. Here the cups look much more red in the Eight of Cups, which reminds me, I'm not sure, again, like I think red is one of the colors for the Eight of Cups, because of because I remember in Mel Maline's Tabula Mundi, she intentionally puts that dark, not that dark red line, but that red line along the horizon line like this. You know, and here the cups kind of show that. I feel like look much more reddish, you know. But here they look more like, I don't know, like brassy almost. But here, like I don't know, irony. Look almost like the Ten of Cups, which I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. You can definitely see, like, you can see these bright angular colored lines in the purple background here really popping out, I feel. And the swords really lighten up. Again, I can't really see much of a difference on this one. I think this is the same card. Some of them like you really can't tell. Maybe like on the dark part of the mountain right here. Yeah. So people are like, how can you not see the difference? The plain, obvious, that looks the same. Like here again, like you see this yellowishness, which again I thought would show up in these cards, but it's showing up in these, you know, in the new ones. Here the cups look more like a pinkish color here, and yeah, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. You know, the reds look very vibrant in the nine. but it loses that darkness. Like these negative cards that kind of need that darkness, it's kind of lost. It's kind of gone. It's like, what? You know? This is an interesting one where the color backgrounds really like, I'm trying to remove the glare so you can kind of see them without me like having to move them. You can really see the color backgrounds like really like stand out. Like the Nine of Discs is a weird card for me. And though like it seems like so like I seem to pass over it so many times. There's something into that, pass over it. I don't know. There's something to look into that. And it's like such a cool card, you know, but I just ignore it. Like again, look at he like these are two completely different colors. Like these are not the same colors. Like this looks like silver, this looks more gold. Like girl, what are we doing, you know? Anyways, like yeah. Very interesting how some of the colors turn out. Like again, this looks like like these colors look like it should be over here, as we have been seeing, you know, brighter, these are brighter, this one's the, you know, the more saturated, darker, but here it's like the opposite. Like, oh wait, so this is like where it's like, wait, maybe they are more color accurate. I don't know. Because it's like, I'm like, well, I'm sure, like again, because I believe OTO themselves, you know, worked on, you know, rephotographing, rescanning these images, you know, to I feel like it you know, I feel like to question, you know, their, you know, the work that they put into it, you know, is kind of like, no, because, you know, like they more than anyone, you know, would care about these images and how accurate they are. So I hesitate to say that. I say 40 minutes into the video. I should have said this totally in the first part. Um, so yeah, it's really interesting. You know, really, I think it's something that one should consider in terms of like, you know, updating the imagery and the colors and you know, of a painting that's slowly, ever so slowly aging, you know. But I doubt the paintings were ever like exposed. Like they very rarely bring them out into galleries or into shows to show them. If I'm not mistaken, like it's very hard to. I don't know. Like only like I'm not even sure if they've done so recently, you know. But I would love to see the paintings in person. I'm also gonna post a link to a Facebook group by oh my gosh, what's it called? I'll link it either way. You'll see it. Where they do a full scan of, you know, these two and the green box and, you know, the different versions. I only have like these images and then this one, you know. Uh, so yeah, hopefully you guys can see, yeah, more differences and see what I mean when it's like it looks more like the vintage version. It looks like a vintage facsimile, uh, you know. I'm like looking at the wings. I'm looking at like trying to like see how the images differ, you know. That's why I feel like they didn't really change that much. You know, in terms of size wise, other than like, you know, it fills in the border more, but like, you know, how some of the cards we've seen in the past I've shown it, you know, you can see like just ever so slightly more, you know, like the fleur de lis. Little bit more of the fleur de lis uh from the emperor. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that word wrong, you know. Um so yeah, yeah, I'll put a link there because again, it was Paul and Bart. Is that their names? you, but, right? I don't know. I'll post their YouTube channel too. Um, uh, uh, yeah, I think it is Paul and Bart. They were talking about it, and I think it was one of them. He's oh my gosh. He's I can't remember where he's from. I'm terrible. It goes to show how impromptu this video was. Impromptu, I don't think that's the right word. How last minute this video was. And again, that damn glare, I keep forgetting about it. Sorry. Um, sorry for doing a terrible job showing these images. Like I said, I'll link, you know, all the sources there. Like I said, this is what I wanted to show. The clouds and the queen. Like, they got cleaned, you know? They cleaned them up. They're brighter. They're lighter, you know? Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than the results are a mixed bag. I guess here, like, you can see, this is definitely where the darkness kind of backfires, you know? You can't really tell what's going on there. Here the yellows look much more yellow in this. Here the eagle looks much more brown rather than black. Here, again, the crystals surrounding are like sharp. I don't know what they are. Are they supposed to be crystals? I think so. If I remember my studies correctly. They look much more clearer, much more brighter. Here again, she looks more blue rather than that like yellowish green going on here. You can see it in the fish too. This one always, the Princess of Swords is always such an interesting figure as well. But moving on, we're not going to get into her because then we'll just be talking about the Thoth Tarot, and this is already almost 50 minutes long, so we don't want this to be a whole 2-hour video now, do we? So yeah, again, yeah, I was first aware of this French version by that Paul and Bart, you know, I think, was it his name? Paul Hughes Barlow? I could be completely wrong. Like I said, link description down below. Like, again, all that I got. And then I finally found, I finally was able to figure out where to get my hands on this by, what's his name? Sylvian. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Sylvian's Deadly Sins, I think that's his name. Here on YouTube. He was doing, in one of his videos, and he showed and I remember Bart, I believe it's Bart, yeah, because Paul is the owner of the channel, Bart is the guest, and they talk about those. Anyways, he shows the deck and he shows like, oh yeah, it has these backs. Then I see Sylvan with these backs. I'm like, where did you get those? Like, I like because you can't find them in the like US Games isn't going to distribute this, I believe. If I'm not, I don't know. They I think they will. I don't know. And here's another thing. There's also a box of the Thoth that doesn't look like this. Doesn't look like this anymore. They don't do these anymore. It has the Knight of Cups and it takes up the whole image. And it's, and I'm not sure if those, and I think those still have the same images as these. But essentially what A.G. Mueller is doing now is, now these are going to replace all, so far, you know, all new stocks. When they reprint, when they ask for another print run, they're going to print with these new images, and these will be no more. So these might eventually be like highly sought after. You know, I don't know, because these will be the norm from A.G. Mueller. But then again, these will be the US Games, and then there will actually be an actual difference. I don't know, because again, people used to say like, oh, the US Games versus the A.G. Mueller. Girl, they're the same. Like, very, very minuscule slight, and that just might be from like printing copies, editions. Like the ink just might have been a little bit different, you know? It's like slight variations are probably not that like, not like this. Not like this, you know, where, you know, where the green on the green man is very different, you know, between the two. So yeah, there you go. Links, like I said, in the description down below. Let me know what you think about like these. How do you feel about it? Like apparently they're, you know, as to what the paintings look like currently, more currently or more recently, you know, more updated, I guess. We can't do that with the Rider-Waite Smith because the color plates, the printing plates for the Rider-Waite Smith were destroyed. The originals were destroyed back in, I believe, World War II in a bombing. So, yeah. So what we have are just like copies of off of copies that survived. You know. So yeah, was it World War One? No, it was World War Two. Yeah, it was. Rider-Waite Smith was made after World War One. So yeah, um, I'm not sure what else to say. I think we're gonna end it there. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know which ones you like more, you know? Old, new. What do you think? All right. Bye, everyone. My computer fell asleep. Okay, there we go. Bye.